Up to this point, we've tested both ends of the spectrum. The big 30 kilowatt cheap, inefficient heater here, and then we went to the twice as expensive, smaller 9 kilowatt, very efficient, rather complicated with its electronics little heater. If there's a way we could have something in the middle here that was cheap, yet still very efficient, sort of powerful, and not quite as complicated, I think maybe I have the solution. This is the same price as this heater. I'm hoping with the aluminum body, it is as efficient as our 9 kilowatt friend here. Let's put this thing to the test and see what it's all about. Upon my initial inspection, I am actually pretty pleased with the quality. It's comparable. In size, as you can see, it's just a little bit larger. I'm gonna say it's maybe 30% larger, maybe 20%, but it is a little bit larger than 9 kilowatt. The heat exchanger is quite a bit longer. These fittings are very nice. The exhaust is 1.5 inches, intake is 1 inch. One feature I do like is that these fittings are aluminum, not polycarbonate like its 9 kilowatt brother. Where these companies do save money is on the accessories that you get. You get fuel line, fuel pump, fuel filter with some mounts. You get one of these fuel pickup tubes and the wiring harness. That's it. And it's just one switch with 2 positions. For your reference, this is what the 9 kilowatt came with, which is twice the price. So you do get exhaust. All the pumps on the 9 kilowatt are brushless. You get a muffler, entire bag of clamps and filters. Only you can decide if all those added accessories are worth the price. One thing about this heater that I noticed was that the plugs also have O-rings and are moisture resistant, and the rash guards on the cabling is really nice. Let's take a look inside and see. So this is just a cap. It's a nice aluminum cap. Got your main computer on it. That cap covers your fan motor and your wiring comes down. Take that cover off right there. All right, so it looks like here's your igniter. Here is a temperature sensor for the combustion chamber, and there's another temperature sensor down here for the heat exchanger. I want to get this fan off so I can get an idea of what the combustion chamber looks like, because I'm interested to see how this one is cast. I haven't run this heater yet, so I want to see if the efficiency of the 9 kilowatt, which was about 63%, is coming from electronics, or if it's coming from the fact that the heat exchanger is aluminum. I have my suspicions that the aluminum heat exchanger is the way to extract the most heat out of the exhaust into your fluid, because aluminum is a better heat conductor than steel. And by casting the fins into the heat exchanger, you can just get a better transfer. That's my theory. Uh-oh. There's your fan. Definitely not brushless. Now inside where the fan connects, this sort of baffle, I believe it takes the blown air of the fan and spins it, for lack of a better word. Yeah, you see on edge here, The air enters, spins, and then goes. There we go. You can smell the diesel. This was definitely test fired at the factory, and the diesel smell is very strong. This is the part that gives me hope. The sheer number of these fins and the size of these fins, and the fact that they've actually taken the time to add material at the end of the heat exchanger. I hope that this thing is very efficient. It actually looks like they have cast these fins and then gone inside to grind them down for a snug fit on the combustion chamber. In my opinion, that's what you want. If you can make the combustion chamber sit inside the heat exchanger with as little room as possible to transfer as much heat as possible between the fins, I have high hopes. I'm really hoping this heater fills the gap between the much more expensive 9 kilowatt and the inexpensive but inefficient 30 kilowatt. I'm hoping this one bridges the gap between price and performance, because honestly, the controllers are nice, but we don't necessarily need the controller of the 9. Let's put this thing back together and do some tests. I'm excited. All right, let me walk you through our test setup here. I have our heater set up on a bench with the exhaust, a 1.5 inch exhaust. I have 5 gallons of water. I will take a temperature measurement at the beginning of this test. And back here, I have some diesel fuel that I will weigh the fuel before the test, get a reading, let the heater do its thing, monitor the water temperature, fuel consumption, and by the end of the test, I will then measure the fuel and water temperature again. Also, I'll monitor time. By the end of this, once we take time, fuel before, fuel after, along with temperature before and temperature after, that will give us our efficiency test. You have to forgive the springtime weather here. We are under a blizzard advisory where this rain is supposed to turn to snow this evening, so I'm trying to get this done before that happens. Okay, I believe that is everything. Let's turn this thing on and start. Nine. 787.5. All right, so I took a measurement. Water was 12.9 degrees Celsius, and we had 787.5 grams of fuel, and the timer is running. Really starting to ramp up now. 26 degrees C on the water, and we are 3.5 minutes in. Heat exchanger is about 14.7. Combustion chamber is about 20 degrees C, 19 to 20 degrees C. Exhaust is 53 degrees Celsius. It's actually pretty quiet. I'm surprised. Surprised how quiet it is. And voltage-wise, or excuse me, amperage-wise, we're drawing about between 8 and 9 amps. Starting to get the slightest steam off the water now. .37 degrees C in about 5.5 minutes. That's good. I don't know what this heater is set to by default. I am going to guess it's set for a 15-degree window between 70 and 85 degrees C, much like the 30 kilowatt steel heater, because this is the same manufacturer that did the 30 kilowatt. Pretty decent flow rate. If you see the lights flicker, we actually might lose power. 10 minutes. just about 60 degrees C. Starting to ramp down. I'm going to call it 622.5, 1124, and the final temperature 67.5. Here are the stats from the first run. We heated 5 gallons of water from 12.9 degrees Celsius all the way through 67.5 degrees Celsius. We did that in 11 minutes and 24 seconds. We consumed 165 grams of fuel to do it. That gives us an efficiency of 59.2% and an output of 6.33 kilowatts. That is not encouraging because the 9 kilowatt heater was also giving us higher efficiency ratings and more kilowatt output for its size. So while this one is rated for 15 kilowatts, we're getting, what, 6.2 out of it? So we can look at it a couple ways. This was just the first run. I'll do another run to see if the results are the same, and I'll average them. But for the price, let's look at it like that. For the price, 300 versus 700, you're almost at the same output and the same efficiency as the much more expensive 9 kilowatt Webasto clone. That's not bad. For the money, it's much better than the 30 kilowatt. Much better. More tests. More testing for sure. Through the magic of editing, I just did a second run, but I saved you all the grimy details. Here is the results. We heated 5 gallons of water from 15.4 degrees Celsius to 67 degrees Celsius in 10 minutes and 27 seconds. And it consumed 160 grams of diesel fuel. You plug those numbers in, that gives an efficiency of 57.7% and a kilowatt output rating of 6.52. Very similar to the first test. This was a little more output and less efficiency. I had considered hooking up my diesel exhaust gas intercooler to it. That leaks. I don't have a new one yet. All right, let's do it. Let's see what it does. Let me run you through the final test of the day. Same parameters as before, same 5 gallons of water. And now we have the exhaust gas cooler just to see how much efficiency we can wring out. This is the last test. I'm not doing this again. It's starting to get cold. We're starting to have snow. Our fuel is 790. Temperature is 12.8 C. Clock is started. So all of the waste heat out of the exhaust will run through this air-to-water heat exchanger basically, and hopefully we'll wring out some more efficiency. (27 degrees Celsius on the heat exchanger body. 25 degrees Celsius back here. 170 degrees Celsius on the neck of the heat exchanger. 59 degrees there. 41 there. The exhaust is reading 27. It's doing a good job of extracting heat. I think we're getting close here. And the final temperature, 67.5. Final test results of the day with the exhaust gas cooler attached. We heated 5 gallons of water from 12.8 degrees Celsius to 67.5 degrees Celsius in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And we used 142.4 grams of diesel fuel to do it. That gives us an output of 7.35 kilowatts and an efficiency of 68 98.7%. That's pretty good. I like those numbers, especially for the money. So I'm going to close the shop down. Let's wrap this up. So I feel like I've tested sort of the range of diesel-fired hydronic heaters for the bus. And out of all of them, there's clear winners. This 30 kilowatt steel-bodied version, I cannot recommend them. I can't. Yes, they're $300, but they're very inefficient, and they're just gas hogs. So, and they don't even produce anywhere near 30 kilowatts. We're talking about like a 7 kilowatt output. So let's just move that over to the side. So really we're left with two primary contenders. You have this sort of 15 kilowatt rated version, and then you have our really nice, expensive Webasto clone, 9 kilowatt baby. They're both aluminum bodied. This one is $700 when I purchased it, and it's a lot more now with the tariffs and everything. So we're looking at probably $1,000 to get this to your door. This one was $300 shipped to my door. This one is almost as efficient as this one. We're looking at like 90% of what this gives you. So twice the price. This one's almost there. It works really well. It's a simple on-off. Now, it doesn't have the accessories or the bells and whistles. This is a much nicer package. It's got a great controller. It's got a lot of features. It's just a nicer unit overall. But the build quality on the much cheaper sort of 15 kilowatt version, it's solid. This thing took a tumble on the floor not 10 minutes ago and nothing broke. The clamps are good, the welds are good, the castings are good, the heat exchanger's good. It's a solid unit. It's not brushless. It's noisier than this one. And yes, you have to buy more accessories to make it work. But the clear winner when it comes to performance versus price, it's this guy here. I got a link in the description to this if you want to look it up on AliExpress. I'm happy with it. Now, had I not seen this one, had I not used it, I would not know that there was something better. This meets pretty much all my expectations. It could be a little more efficient, but not by much. If you really want efficiency out of either one of these, especially this one, if you add an exhaust gas cooler from like a Ford Power Stroke diesel engine, you can get them on eBay for like 50, 60 bucks. You're looking at 68.7% efficiency. That's almost 70%. That's really good. And an output rating of 7.35 kilowatts. Wow. The same company made both of these. They really overestimate the power of their units. I realize this is a 9. This is probably more like maybe a 10 or 11 kilowatt. I'd say 10 at the most. It's not a 15. So out of 10, you're getting 7. That seems to check out. This is the clear value winner and does almost everything this one does just as good, maybe with a little less refinement. But we don't have this polycarbonate nipple here. If this one took a tumble on the floor, I guarantee you I'd be picking up pieces of this. These aluminum hose barbs did not break. Yeah. If I had to do it over again, I'd choose this one. It's cheap, effective. Yeah. All right. So if you haven't seen my full range of these videos, I have links in the description to the 30 kilowatt, the 9 kilowatt, the modifications, all the tests in the search for a really good hydronic heat system for the Flying Pig. Check those out. If you have questions, let me know. If I did something wrong, if I could do something better, if you have questions. I feel like we're covered though. This size is the right size even for a big coach bus. Stick with aluminum bodied, that's the way to go. They're way more efficient than steel bodied. Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm Jason. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one.